Hello! Happy National Scrapbooking Day! Oh, it feels so good to be here and to be able to create a little with you guys today. I'll wait till a couple of you guys jump on. Let me get the comments up so that I can see what you're saying in the comments. For those of you that don't know me, I am Susan Budge. I am the CEO and co-founder at Kiwi Lane. First and foremost, a scrapbooker that, loves this wonderful hobby. Very passionate about it. So I'm excited to be joining you guys today here in this special event that some of these amazing creative partners have been putting on and hosting and honing their creativity to think outside of the box and to focus on what we can do instead of what we can't do right now. And look at us. Yay, so fun. Hello. Awesome. So yes, it's like we can all just be together. So the plans, let me share my plans. Lindsay asked me specifically to just take the next hour, 2 hours, I think is what they have blocked out. So we're gonna have some fun giveaways in the mix of this. But to just kind of explain a little bit about my experience and kind of what we recommend for when you're picking out papers. Now I'll be focusing on a 2-page layout and just kind of what we recommend, what we've found over the last 10 years, what has kind of worked for us as we used our own paper stash, which is one of the beauties of the Play to Create system, is to actually use up your paper stash, but also it's really fun because it plays friendly with a lot of those extra stuff, I'm going to call it stuff, that we seem to collect as scrapbookers. And specifically, I'm going to talk to scrapbookers today because it's our day. It's National Scrapbooking Day. If you guys are not familiar with Kiwi Lane, can you let me know? And if you have any questions about the process, or, if you have some thoughts that maybe you've been holding back, don't hold back. I'm not shy. You guys don't need to be shy. But if you don't know about it, as I show you, basically I'm going to go from beginning process to the end process. So the whole process. So grab your stuff because you might want to just create along with me as you're listening. But yeah, something to play with, something to create. Okay, sorry. I need to get my comments up here going. I'm chatting. There we go. All right, make sure I'm on mute. There we go. Hello. Wow, it's so fun to see you guys from all over the place. New Jersey and Carolina and Washington and okay. Well, Kelly, hopefully by the end of this virtual class, basically, you'll be familiar with that. But again, feel free to ask questions. All right? Okay. So I'm going to take you guys for a quick little ride. We're going to go for a downward view so you can actually see what I'm working on. And then, of course, I can see your comments in the thing as well. From England. How awesome. Welcome. What time zone is it right now in England? What time are you? I would have to do all the math to figure it out. So, yes, what time of the day is it for you? All right, here we go. Quick view. Okay. All right, everybody can see? There we go. Let's get some playing. Let's start. Okay, again, I'm so grateful for the creative partners. Give them some love. I want to be give them a round of applause for, it's so much work, more work than you guys know to put something on like this. And they have been amazing. I'm seriously impressed with the ability, for them to all work together as a team. It makes me super happy. And of course, just seeing you guys share this wonderful passion for this wonderful hobby. Okay, so let's talk about paper first. I went to my paper stash. I have this paper kit from Echo Park from 2016. So it's an older paper crack, but just in case, because everybody always asks, it's called I Love Family, but it's an old paper line because it's been sitting in my paper stash. But today, it's going to be created into something that I will cherish for years. We are going to make something out of this, turn it into something. It will be great. Okay, so that's what we have. So there's a lot because a lot of the time with other paper packs, for whatever it's worth, our Kiwi Lane paper pack, we don't design the same way as other people's paper packs, but by the time I tell you our thought process, basically shows you why we design our paper kits, specifically our Kiwi Clubs, as they're more focused on the Kiwi Club kits in our paper, the way that we do. So why we do them the way that we do our specific paper kits. So you guys are familiar that a lot of time paper kits, they only come with one of each design. And so what we do is we buy like 2 of everything or more because of that fact. Now, of course, I've noticed through time that you don't need necessarily 2 of everything, mostly the backgrounds and some of the blenders. But because of that, that's why you see so much paper. So this doesn't all come in one paper pack. This is actually 2 paper packs, okay? All right, first thing to start with. So we recommend 5 to 6 sheets of paper. So again, I'm gonna talk about paper because to start scrapbooking, 1, you need to just know what paper you're gonna use and what pictures you're gonna scrapbook, and I'll get to those pictures here in a minute. So that's why I chose this paper, because they'll do my pictures justice. So that's why. So that's first step. Then what's helpful to narrow down your decision making, which is so valuable, is to break it down to 5 to 6 sheets of paper. Now again, we're going to be focusing on a 2-page layout. If you are doing a 1-page, honestly, you maybe need like 2 or 3 double-sided sheets of paper, especially if they designed them with the backs. Useful, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. Okay, so we're looking 5 to 6 sheets of paper. And basically that breakdown, and I can post an image later, guys, sorry, is what we recommend is 2 for your background sheets, because again, we're doing a 2-page layout, 1 main pattern, 1 supporting pattern, so that's 4, and then 1 for like your photo mats, or an extra 1 for layers, so 5, and then if there's just another one, why we say 5 to 6 is because if you're torn, then throw in that 6, but you really do not need more than 6 sheets of paper, especially if they're double-sided. You're gonna find that that's plenty for you to pull on. It will limit your decision making, break it down, simplify it so it's not so overwhelming, and then you can put all of the other stuff to the side. So let's start with that first. So out of those, really 5 sheets, because 6 is just if you have one that you're just like torn, then fine, go for that 6 sheet, just so that you don't have to say, what if I would have got that. If you're making your own kits out of your paper stash, but like I'm talking even when you're buying, if you can learn to buy in 5 to 6, and then that will do you justice and it will simplify it because you already did the work when you actually went to buy the paper. All right, so, and that creates 2-page layouts, and it's such an efficient use, especially this play to create system style, that you can make, you know, 3 or 4 even sometimes cards out of your scrap. Okay, enough chatting. I gotta make sure I'm checking your questions. Hello. If there is a question that I missed, please ask it over and over again. If one of you are the creative partners, you can ding me in the message as well if I'm missing something, okay? All right. Okay, so 5 sheets. We're gonna start with 5 sheets. Out of those 5 sheets, we actually recommend that you start with your main pattern first. So we're gonna look through here, and what do we basically reference as a main pattern? A main pattern is something that often the time has a theme to it. It has more character to the design. It usually incorporates all of the color palettes. Not all the time, but most of the time. And when I'm talking about a color palette, when this designer went and created this paper line, this collection, they settled on a paper palette, right? So usually often you'll see that, which is great because then you can pull from that main sheet, and that's why these other ones will work, because it's represented in the main pattern, all right? Okay, so let me go through this really, really quickly, as fast as we can. So I am just looking for main patterns, and again, those are themes. So I'm gonna put these to this side. This technically could be of course, the main pattern. These ones like stripes and polka dots, those I refer to as supporting patterns. So that will be our second choice, but we're not going to focus on that right now. And basically they're more general, like stripes and polka dots and even hexagons. Like again, there's not much theme, which you don't always need like a themey paper. This flower, which is definitely still have a theme and character to it, is a main pattern, right? This is also, there's a lot in here. There's a lot. Could go with the mason jars, these different feels. I should probably have separated the ones out. And then you have some different title cards in here, strip cards. Oh, that's the tree. And I think we're back to duplicates. Okay, so I should take all the duplicates out. We don't need those yet. I'm gonna need it when I pick my background sheet, but I don't need it now. Whew, there's a lot. See, this can get overwhelming. So just quickly do a little bit of analyzing and break it down as best as you can. We're gonna come back to these title sheets because sometimes we're torn because we're like, well, I don't want to use it because what if I use this? But we'll come back to that here in a minute, kind of my personal opinion on some of those. All right, so these are our main pattern choices. That's really, really cute. Not as heavy on all of the color palettes. It definitely is more teal red, but it's still represented, so you can absolutely do more of that feel. And again, once we get to supporting, so you don't have to do too thematic. So I'm going to be focusing on those family pictures. Let me pull those back in really quickly so you guys can see them here. So these are family pictures that I had in some frames around our home and retired because we took some new family pictures, which is about time because these were like 12 years ago. So now I'm gonna, of course, place them in a home in our family album, but they're a little beaten up. You could tell they're a little bit beaten up, but we're gonna find something that we can do with them. And then I'm gonna even scrapbook with these 5x7s and 8x10s. I thought that would be a fun little different approach to often the 4x6s that I scrapbook with. So mason jars are cute, but it's really not the feel I'm going for. I do think the trees are really cute, so that's my top one there. So again, I'm just personal preference. There is no wrong or right when it comes to what stands out. It really is. You know how when you are looking at paper, if you're anything like me, there is a paper that you're just like, I have to have that sheet, right? That's the one that you're looking for. What is that one sheet? And often that will be the one that you want to focus your whole page around then. If you loved it, then most likely if you loved it, you'll be inspired by it. And if you're inspired by it, then creating probably will come a little bit easier with it, okay? I'm not sure why it keeps freezing, Lisa. Sorry, it might be your internet on your side as well. I don't know. So hopefully it comes in and out. Okay, flowers are a good general one to go back to. I'm kind of loving this mixture. It actually is like the best of both worlds because you got the mason jars, you got the cameras, you got, I mean, everything in there. It's all represented. These are more strips focus design. You can see that here, which is fine. It's fun, but sometimes you want to do, when I see patterns like that, sometimes I think, well, maybe a strip, but I'm not sure I'm gonna love that. So, all right, I narrowed it down. You guys tell me what you think. I'm thinking either trees, because I could definitely do more of like a tree focused layout. That could be fun. Or I could do more of a flower focused layout. What do you guys think? Again, we're only with our main pattern here. This is why it takes time to just even get started scrapbooking. You guys like the trees? Like I could do family tree or I don't know, something like that. Flowers. See, it's preference. It's preference. There's really no right or wrong at the end of the day. There really isn't. But again, with the main pat sheet, what you're looking for is something that has a little more character, a little bit more theme, probably a little bit more busier. Oh my goodness, you guys are like half and half. I swear, it's like flowers, trees, flowers, trees, flowers, trees. Oh, there's a couple trees, trees, trees. Love the flowers, flowers, flowers. Oh no, oh no. I don't even know. It's not one, it's not trees, trees, trees. I think that might, flowers now. Flowers, flowers. Let's go with the trees. Let's do the trees. I do flowers often. Flowers is a common pattern that we often see, right? It's not really, they're adorable, don't get me wrong. Those flowers, look how pretty that paper is. That is adorable. All right, so yay, we have a blender. Let me introduce you to what we consider blenders, is subtle patterns like this. This is super helpful when you go to add your embellishments or just different elements on your page, accessories, which we use here at Kiwi Lane. I often look for blenders to help me with those because what you're hoping to accomplish with your layout is a cohesiveness that complements your picture. And if you get too many busy patterns, then I think that's when you start to get that overwhelming feeling where your pictures are not shining as much. Again, personal opinion here. And we all have different styles. Some of us love it simple, some of us like it layered up. And I think that's really fun that a lot of these creative partners are also sharing their styles. So, okay, we have our main pattern. Yay! Now we need a supporting pattern. So as I mentioned, a supporting one often tends to be not necessarily a theme. Now again, there is always the exception to the rule, right? This pattern, unfortunately, they have a main pattern on the back. So I don't think I would be able to take advantage of both sides, but I could still choose to use this. But let me show you that really quickly. So if you take a main pattern and you layer that, see how, this is why we call it a supporting. It supports the main pattern. It doesn't necessarily compete. And so that is something that you're looking for. I wish this other side wasn't necessarily that, but you know, you got to work with what you got. All right, so let me show you more samples of that. This is an interesting pattern. See, it probably supports one of the other. I don't know, like if I had this one as a main pattern and then that as a supporting, it would go a little bit more together, right? All right, so not for our trees. So that one's eliminated. This one, stripes, adorable. See how that just really complements that main pattern? So this is the process. That's why I start with the main, because then you're gonna build down from there. And then when we do the scrapbooking, we're gonna build up, which I'll show you here in a minute as we actually start tracing and cutting things out. All right, and then of course, the great thing is I can use both sides of this sheet of paper, which I really appreciate because I like to make the most efficient use of my paper. So I'm really torn though, because look how cute that is. That's really cute. See that? That's really adorable. So, but I do think that the polka dots, for those of you guys that know, I am a sucker for polka dots. I always recommended polka dots. I don't know. It is struggle. The struggle is real sometimes. It is. So that's why I thought I would walk you through even the process that I have to go through as I am using other layout kits, which you're gonna have. You're gonna have huge paper stashes. If you guys are not familiar, over in our YouTube channel, on Kiwi Lane's YouTube channel, we actually, so this is working with a collection that was designed to work together, but this same process, if you have sheets of paper in your stash, basically what I recommend is to build your own kits by taking one paper line from another person and like a different company, and you can mix them all together. And there's about a 10-minute video, maybe a little bit longer, that walks you through that process. All right, so we got some polka dots and stripes and some plaids. I know. Okay, maybe I'll add this plaid as my 6th option, just so that it's out in hand reach, and if I choose to, as I'm designing, then I will pull on this plaid. Again, I'm not sure that's going to come in handy with my trees, but okay, great. Now we have a main pattern, a supporting pattern, an extra sheet because we can't choose. So sometimes instead of wasting your time, just go with it. And if you use it, you use it. If not, that's okay. You'll find some use for it. Okay, so now we're down to, so then I skip to the background sheets, okay? The background sheets are your, basically your canvas, right? That you build off of. And then we're gonna go to that other 5th sheet that I called the photo mat sheet, but you wanna pick out your background before you pick out your photo sheet, all right? So the process here, basically we're looking for something that's a blender or two-tone. Let me explain to you that, like how we refer to why, when we say blender, what do we mean by that? Basically, it's got a pattern, it has a little bit of texture, but it's not going to compete with your main patterns. Again, this is something that we personally have gone through the process and learned that it actually helps make these patterns not feel so overwhelming. So for example, let's say like we use this plaid as our background, right? Let me see here. It would be a little bit more busy. See how that stripe would have a hard time? It doesn't pop off of that plaid if that plaid was our background. If you are using your paper stash, then go for it. You are going to see a big difference from our idea book number 1 to even our idea book number 3, because in our idea book number 1, before we really started to experiment and, you know, drill down, wait, this doesn't have to be so complicated. If we stuck to this many papers and we had this kind of style, it became our strategy with how we design paper and how we scrapbook. But that first idea book, you're gonna see a lot more busier backgrounds because we used our paper stash, and then we got to the point where we started to buy paper with specific things in mind. So we were intentional about what we bought, and we were more aware of what we were buying, which helped make a little bit more satisfaction out of our end layouts that we were creating. Okay, so I can't find the other plaid, but I wanted to point that out. So like if that was our background, that doesn't help, but that's okay because we're using it as a supporting. But the moment we put some blenders, now you can imagine what all of these patterns, I'm gonna put this plaid to the side just for a minute. This main pattern and the supporting pattern is really going to pop and it's gonna be cohesive. So a blender is what a pattern is, but it's the same color. So you see this green outline here? Here, I'm gonna pull this up. I'm not sure you guys can see that well. There is a texture on that. There's a pattern on that. And it was designed with a darker green and a lighter green. That's what we mean by blenders. It's basically the same color, but contrast of the same color. And then let me show you a two-tone, which could be other things that you keep in mind. Well, this is a two-tone. Basically, kind of what it says is that you have only 2 colors represented here. They're not the same color palettes. It's a red with an orange. So 2 different colors, red with orange. Oh, they don't look like they have many. They have, so let me go ahead and pull out all the blenders and all 2 tones, but that's what we're looking for. Most of the times, blenders or 2 tones will be your best option for your background sheets and even your photo mat sheets if you don't use cardstock for your photo mats, which you absolutely see. This is considered a 2-tone, or how we define it. So again, this is just our terminology that we use in our product development and to make sure that a process is followed. And this is basically me sharing with you our process. Does it keep thinking in and out? I keep losing you guys. Am I still live? Oh, I am. I'm still live. This is new to me. I usually use 2 patterns and not 2 patterns at a time. Okay? Perfect. Okay. So now let me show you. This is where the test and trial comes into play. You know what? You guys would have found me, Shiloh, or Debbie in the scrapbooking stores. I always loved because the scrapbooking owners would be like, what are you guys doing? we would grab the papers, because no longer would we just buy just to buy. We wanted to buy with intention because we figured it out. We had this system down and we're like, no, we know that what we're going to use now. And that, anyways, so this is the process we went through. We would lay these out on the floor in the scrapbooking store, and anytime I'm picking paper, that's what you'll see. I pull the papers out and I basically sit on the floor and I decide what sheets go to what. So this is busy. I wouldn't recommend that one personally, and I don't like that these are going to take away from the circles. So that's something that stood out to me. So no go. Let me explain this one. So if you see a stripe that you're like, oh, that's a blender, yay, but you don't want to have stripes with stripes. And I already chose a stripe for my supporting, so nope. Red. Red is cute. Red helps. All right, so that could be a yes. If you want a nice clean look, so again, you can't see that pattern as much, but there is texture there. You could absolutely do that. Again, you're only going to be able to take advantage. Oh, the yellow is really pretty. So again, you want to keep in mind your pictures too. Just like, you know how when you're picking clothes out, when you wear a certain color, right, it makes your face kind of flush out, or it, you know, shines, or it gets a little peachier, and you can tell that that's kind of good for your complexion. Same thing with pictures and paper. So you can see this, we all kind of yellowed out. All of this yellow is standing out just a little bit more. So you want to kind of pay attention to that if you can. I don't have my pictures when I used to go scrapbooking shopping at a store, so you would just do it off the others. But if you are picking out with your pictures in mind, then that's something to pay attention to. So I didn't personally mind that. I actually liked the little bit of yellow popping through. It definitely has a fun fall feel, which we actually took those pictures in the fall. Let me show you this one. So we could go with more of a green. So let me see what happens when we put that. Oh, kind of darkens it all. So, I mean, there's a lot of green, but I would love the little touches of green. So we'll figure that out. I'm kind of loving the yellow. I think it was the yellow or the red for me. Let's see what happens to the red. It just warms it up a little bit. So what do you guys think? You like the yellow? Yellow? Ooh, you guys love yellow. We have some yellow fans up in this place. Well, my daughter Abby would be right with you guys. I never ask her opinion if it involves yellow, because it will always be, the answer will always be yellow. Always. You guys liking that? So again, you can kind of just get a feel for what that's going to be like overall. See, a completely different feels. What you choose for that background, this kind of gives it a little deeper, a deeper color contrast. Like you can see this doesn't contrast off of this as much. And then it does. Actually, there is no yellow in this supporting pattern, but that's okay because it's represented in your main pattern. So that doesn't have to be the case for supporting patterns. So you're mainly looking for a main pattern that will have all the color palettes so that you can pull on every single color and have that cohesive feel about it. All right, we got yellows, we got reds. Ooh, red, red. I don't feel like there's wrong yellows, red or yellow. Well, thanks, Jan. Red or yellow. That wasn't helpful at all. Just kidding. She's like red or yellow, whatever you want, whatever. All right, I'm gonna go one more time around. Let's figure this out. Red. Red. Yellow. Ah, there really is no right or wrong, guys. There is no right or wrong. Let's see what the templates look better off of so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Oh, it doesn't matter either on that. I don't know, that sounds like a good decision making, but that's really not the process, so don't ignore that. All right, Susan, let's just decide. Yellow, yellow, red, yellow, red. Oh, you guys are both half and half. We have like half and half in these groups. I do want a little bit of yellow in my layout though, so I'm a little torn. You know what? I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, so this is also something else. If I want to keep this sheet of paper for a future use, if I use the yellows as my background, it'll be gone. You know what? I think I like the yellow. It doesn't matter. If that bothers you, then you might have to choose, but personally I think I'm loving this little gold. I think it's gonna help give a little bit more fall feel. So, oh, look how cute. Did you guys notice that? These little trees, they're hearts, little hearts. All right, so I'm gonna point something out about that here in a moment. Okay, last step is to pick that 5th sheet, which is your photo match sheet. Again, this can be cardstock, it can be, you know, it doesn't have to be some of these texture patterns, but really what you're looking for is, again, a blender of some kind that you can actually use, whether that's for matting your pictures. If you mat your pictures, I don't mat my pictures all the time, or it's because you can use it for some extra accessories and such. So what I'm looking for when I think of that is the same thing, either a blender or two tones on those as well. So there are a lot of fun patterns to choose from. And the reason why I pick my background first is because you want, if you do mat your pictures, and if someone's new, matting is when you add a little edge around a picture. So we haven't made those decisions yet, but I always like to have a piece of paper that might come in handy if I do choose to mat my pictures. And I don't mat my pictures all the time, but again, if I don't, then I always seem to have a use for that 5th sheet, no matter what, somewhere in my design, because the truth is, I don't know what I'm going to design at this point. You're just picking your paper. You have no idea what this end result's going to be like. No desire, like no idea. So, so you want to make sure that it works with your picture. Well, just if you have your pictures, works with your pictures. I wasn't sure I liked that grain, so I'm thinking maybe just a nice clean cream, which I don't mind using that. Only that side. I wish there's some red on the back of this. That would have been nice. So because of that, if you're losing your background sheets, I might have to pull on some extra sheets and pretend like that was like that, that it was like that. Because I don't think I'm going to have any use for these. Yeah, these specifically aren't my favorite. Again, some of these were fun, but I haven't gotten there yet. So, I don't tend to use those often, but if you have them, then you might as well. So I think I'm going to go with this on this, but just to really backtrack one more time so I don't overwhelm or confuse you guys. Basically what we're looking for is something that works with your sheet at this point. Let me give you another example. Right, so if you didn't like these two colors together, then you probably don't want to pick this one. So that's kind of how you can eliminate your choices as well. Basically all we're focusing on at this point is the background and this one, just to make sure that those will layer good with each other. So that's kind of the thought process there. We could pull the red in. Red, is that your name, Red Poppy? Oh, I was like, we could pull the red in. Red? Oh, that's, apparently you might love the red. Are you a little biased to the color red? Miss Poppy. Is that your name, Red Poppy? That is so cute if it is. All right. Yes, the red could look really cute. Again, it could be really cute on that. So I'm going to, like I told you guys, I'm going to treat it because unfortunately I lose this color. So I'm going to pull both of these in because, and I wasn't really that fan of that. So I'm going to probably need touches of red. And then we'll see. We'll see what we choose to do, whether it's some of that white on with the things or other things. So now we have our sheets of paper. I am going to put this madness away. And if I wanted these title cards, I could leave that out for the time being. sometimes I love when they have like little patches of like pieces of patterns, because the only color that I'm thinking that I might miss like wish is the green. So maybe we'll do something with, I'm just not sure. This pack also came with stickers, so again, lots to choose from here that I probably will pull on once we get to the finishing final touches here of our layout. Okay, that is picking paper 101. I hope it was helpful. So just a refresher, we recommend 5 sheets of paper. You're gonna start with 5 to 6, okay? That 6th one hangs over on the side. It's an optional. So you're gonna stick 5 sheets of paper, okay? If you wanna take notes. You're gonna start with your main pattern. Main pattern has a theme to it. It has character. It often has all of the color palettes. Then you're gonna go from your main pattern and you're gonna go to your supporting pattern. Supporting patterns complement the main pattern. They support it. They do, make it shine in its own justice. Often not a lot of character, kind of your basic general patterns, stripes, chevrons, polka dots, hexagons, kind of your common general ones. Then you go to picking out your background sheets. I recommend something subtle, a blender, a two-tone, as we define those, and something that highlights your pictures if you are working with your pictures. Otherwise, just something that makes those patterns pop again, your main and supporting ones that you already picked out. If you're doing a 2-page layout, then you would want 2. If your style is to have different backgrounds, which is super fun. I had a friend, Jennifer Nichols, she would do that all the time. So there's no wrong or right on that. And then go to picking another blender or something that will either be helpful if you matte your pictures, that lays good on your backgrounds. So paying attention to colors there, so that you still have enough contrast, but enough cohesiveness still amongst your choices. If you don't use it for mattes, it always comes in handy with extra embellishments or accessories, things like that. Okay, so let's start there. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm gonna keep just a little bit of this green out, and maybe we'll pull in some strips. I don't know, I'm not sure I'm following. I don't know if I want to go that feel, snaps, true love, no. We could do home if we wanted to, but I'm not sure those are any of my favorites either. So, but I can see some really pretty leaves or something in green. That's why I'm thinking I might want a touch of green. And that is an option I need. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm gonna put this paper to the side so that it's not overwhelming, and we still have this sheet if we choose to use it. I'll leave those in hand reach. Okay. All right, so now what I do, now that I have my paper picked out, I have my pictures, I know what I'm gonna be working on, I gotta cut this handy dandy strip off. Actually, I'll tell you the truth, the strips annoy me. When we started to design our paper at Kiwi Lane, we did the strip because, oh, the strip, everybody needs a strip, but we sell through creative partners, so we give people opportunities to sell our product, and so we have a networking marketing model, not a retail model. So we realized, wait, we don't have to do this just because that's what everybody else does. And so we quickly adjusted that we don't even include these on our things because I hate cutting them off. I hate cutting them off. So, all right, that's it. And now we're gonna start playing to create. Before I do that, let's do a fun giveaway. You guys have been hanging around for a while. So I'm not sure how everyone else is doing their giveaways, but the creative partner said, do you want to do some giveaways? Do you want us to give you some of our door prizes to do? And I said, nope, I'll do some fun giveaways from us at Kiwi Lane to you guys as well. So usually I give it a la carte. If you don't have any designer templates yet, that's okay, you can go in the shop. Make sure you make an account through the creative partner so that you're linked to them as the referral. So make sure you do that. We want to give credit where credit's due. But in either way, if you do win one of the a la cartes that I give away during this live, If you don't know which one, then you can go onto the kiwilane.com shop and look underneath all the cards and you can choose any one of those. So first giveaway is the first person that I see that comments. Again, it has to be on my end, just that's the way Facebook works. We all see comments at different times. That can list what company made this paper and what year. So the name of the paper, the company, not the name of the paper, but the company and what year it was created in. Okay? So first person I see that lists both of those, it has to say both, is our lucky winner. So the name of the company and the year. Name of the company and the year. There we go. Trisha Ruffridge. All right, Trisha. Congrats. Oh, you're going too fast. There we go. I have to get it and mark it. There we go. All right. Let me get my little handy dandy thing up. And probably, there we go. Yes, perfect. Okay. All right, now we're gonna start playing to create. And the way we do that is we use our designer templates. So let me introduce you to those. Again, you're probably familiar with them, but this is one of our borders. Here's the next giveaway. You guys ready? We'll just bang them out right at the beginning here. Name this template. Who can name this border template? The first person I see that names the template set, let me know. I'll keep an eye out for the first person I see. I had to cover the name so we can do a name the template. So our borders, these are our 12-inch borders, and I'm going to play to create with these. And not Abbey Road, not Paisley, not Madison, not Paisley, Deb. Nope. Nope. I haven't seen it yet. Nope. Not McKay. We do have a few borders, if you guys can't tell. We have Aspen and Abbey and McKay. There's plenty of designs to choose from. Frankie Roberts, Chestnut. Yes. Yay, Frankie. Congrats. Okay. This is the Chestnut Border. I guess I can take off these things. They are listed, and each design has a side A and a side B to them, okay? And so I'll just show you guys that one, and I'll take out the other ones later. And we designed it this way so that when you are designing a 2-page layout, we're going to put one on this side and one over on this side. But you do get 3 different designs in each of our border sets for the 12-inch borders. And so you just basically start playing, and we start moving things around. You can do top, bottom, left, right. If you love the layers, then you throw in another set, like so. And you do that, okay? I always love to point out, so I'm going to point it out really quickly. Let me find a pattern that I don't mind cutting into. Here, we'll cut this one. I always like to point out how they're cut out, because if you might not have been doing it this way, it's a very efficient use. We did this on purpose, is that when we actually get to the cutting part, which comes after the designing part, simply just line it up on the edge of your paper, and then you just take a pencil, no fancy tools needed, and you just make a mark, and then where you make that mark, you do a straight cut. Again, trying to give you a design, because when we first were coming up with this, it actually was mostly because of our frustration that every time we looked online, there wasn't really many samples for 2-page layouts. It felt like a lot of them were 1 pages with 1 pictures, and we wanted a system, a process that was practical to accommodate a whole range of 2-page layouts, 1-page layout styles, 1 picture, 2 pictures, 5 pictures, 7 pictures, 8 pictures, you know, just a style that really was practical to allow you to accomplish that. So anyways, that's how you cut the borders out. And that's why they're designed, because then it helps balance and does that little bit of design work for you as well when you're doing a 2-page layout. All right, back to playing. Just want to make sure, if you're not cutting your borders out that way, oh, please try to cut your borders. You're doing it the hard way. It's not that hard. It's pretty simple. Okay, so that's the basics. Now that we're all on the same page, I'm going to start creating with them as we do so. All right. As I told you guys, I'm going to be switching it up just a little. I thought it would be fun to adjust and use these pictures. One, because I've been meaning to scrapbook them, and I might as well get something off of my list at the same time as we're playing to create with one another, right? Amy, everybody always asks me this. It's a Caterpillar crop is the cutter I use. I got this maybe a year ago. I finally splurged and got it because my blade kept popping off in the middle of live videos, remind you. Even though that's something we all deal with, I just felt completely silly every time that blade popped off. So I finally adjusted and got this. I heard a couple things about it, and honestly, it's bulky, but I've been super happy with it. So it's pricey though, it's like $80. But the point is that you're supposed to never be able, like this blade is like lifetime. Yeah, so, but for whatever it's worth, I do recommend it. I'm tired of my blade popping off. There was one thing, but I'm not gonna go there. Anyways, I was gonna say there's like, you can't cut in between. Anyways, it'll take me a minute to explain that. So I got one for Christmas. Yes, add it to like a birthday wish list or a Christmas list or something like that. So I know I didn't get the large one because this is bulky enough. I put it on the floor. When you see it come up, you see it go back down, it's sitting by my chair because it's bulky. I have to keep it off my design table. Okay, so I have some 5x7, so I'm going to want to throw these into my design. So I'm going to start there. And a lot of times when we design with 5x7s, you kind of have to work. So I'm going to switch it up a little bit. If you guys, there are plenty of other play to creates to kind of see the process. It just depends what you're working with. But because I'm doing these big things, that I thought it would be fun to kind of change it up on that. All right. I might even have to do, because I have all of these, I think what I'll have to do, and we'll see where we're at on time. We spent a lot of time on the paper picking. I might do a pocket page to go along with this 2-page layout that I'm doing with these extra ones, because there's no way I'm going to be able to fit all of this on this page. I even have another 8.5, but if we don't get to it, I'll post a picture of my final design utilizing all of these memories, because I definitely have a mixture, like again, just random came out of frames throughout my home. Alrighty. So I'm just kind of playing with that. Oh, that's kind of nice. Look at that. If I did something like that, because this 5x7 and then this 7 makes up the rest of the 12 inches. So that might work. All right. And then I can start laying some things down. So let me play with some borders. See what we can come up with. We did something like that. All right. And then it comes down to what patterns you're using. So if you remember though, I picked this tree pattern. When you do that, the trees are going to look weird. And I guess my point is that often I tend to do this as my border. You guys are going to see this live time here. So that's something to take in consideration. It might adjust my decision making as we go. The other video I did the other day, I cut these down to 8x8s, and I thought it was really cute. So I'm going to cut that down really quickly. On that. That will give me a little bit more space to kind of work around. And then we could just start pulling in other designer templates. One of the things I thought of right away was wonder if this, oh, it's just a little bit too big. So we could trim that down. This is from one of our Kiwi Club kits. It's called Portrait. It made me think of that, and that's what I was going to explain, that these elements that go into a paper line, let them inspire you. So for me, I'm like, ooh, maybe I should do some kind of tree. Maybe I should do some kind of flowers. Oh, I can pull in some heart designer templates. Ooh, what if we duplicated this and made a really cute flower coming out of a pot? And then this made me think of like the portraits and this little thick frame right here. I was like, oh, the scallop frame. Family times are the best of times. That's actually really cute. So if there's things that catch your attention, then you can try to pull those in, which that would be really cute way to frame this picture, to mat the picture. So instead of maybe your traditional mat, you do something like this. Okay, I'm not going to trim that picture down until I'm firm on my design, and then maybe I'll take a little 1/2 inch off of here and a little bit more down at the bottom where our feet are, so I don't cut our head off. That's going to be fun, right? Okay, and then let's see. All right, let's do another name that template. You guys ready for this? First person to name this template. This is one of our accessory sets. It comes with these fun little elements. It does have some cute flowers. Yeah, so first person wins an a la carte. And by the way, if you're a winner, I'm writing your name down, but if you can email Jen, E-N, at kiwilane.com, that would be great. Red Poppy, it's springtime, correct. Congrats, Red. All right, so our accessories are basically great because, again, they help you visualize. So if we wanted to kind of play around with those, can kind of come up with a design, but, right? So there's no wrong, no right way here. Let's see. I don't know where my little one is. Something cute up here just coming off. That's also in springtime. That's why I was like, I don't know where my other one is. So you also get a little banner thing in springtime. But you can use them over and over again with your paper stash, and the smallest little scraps of paper you can utilize with our accessory sets. It's very, again, effective, efficient use of your paper, and it's a process that is practical. But, all right, I'm not sure that springtime's our right accessory. Should I do, yeah, maybe I should try off the tree thing. Should I try to be inspired by this tree? I could, because again, we have those fun tree patterns. Well, I haven't even gotten to the patterns yet. You could do a flower tree. So making like this top piece. Maybe moving that over just a little. Trying to think if I mind that that's on his head a little. So that's gonna be fun. Making a little tree out of a flower. That's springtime with autumn bottom. So you really wouldn't need much. So that could be fun. I'm trying to think, because the pictures are so big, it might be that I need to do more of a subtle design. So let me pull out some tags here. And this is it. This is playing to create. You literally are not cutting into anything yet. You are just discovering your design. So, which is what play is all about. Exploring and discovering what you can do. And so when you give yourself the permission to do that, you take away a little bit of that self-doubt, the overwhelmingness, the just, yeah, self-doubt. I can't tell you guys how many times I just was like stare at an empty page, and then I would tell myself, I'm just not creative. I'm just not creative. So playing makes a big difference. And so this is why we try to keep it a very tangible process. Nope, I'm not loving that. So, alrighty, we gotta find the right thing. Any thoughts? Try the cloud from Celebrate. All right. For just like up here, like a cloud effect, you're thinking, Geneva? Is that what you're thinking? I want something simple. Let me give me a moment to scan through what I got here. Oh, I love the, so I could definitely just do touches of little accents. I feel like I've used Tiny Charm so much the last couple days, but I just love it. Tiny Charm is a super, super fun set. It comes here, I'm going to show you guys the packaging. And it comes with all these little elements, which we designed. They work great on cards, pocket, to be creative in your pocket scrapbooking. Anybody, like, again, I'm probably going to finish these. But then also you can use them as little elements on your page. So just little touches of elements. Super fun that way. Is Loretta on here? Loretta, you've been using the hexagons from the last Kiwi Club kit. By the way, it's been seriously inspiring me. So thank you. I have loved every little layout you have posted. I'm so glad that you're posting them because they are so fun. Because that's what made me think. But again, there was hexagon patterns. So work with what your patterns give you. So we could even do something fun like that. Okay, guys, I'm showing you variety here, but really, I always recommend people to, I don't know, put a timer on because you could play for hours if you're not careful because the options are endless. And so the truth is, and I've said it before, but the truth is if there is a design that you don't use this time on this memory, on this layout, you will have many more layouts to come. So don't get too caught up in, oh, but what if I don't? Just go with the design that you like. I'm not loving that. I mean, I do love it, but I think I want to try the tree thing again. Let me see if I can get the tree thing to work for us. Just because I do love the thought of the trees. We picked the pattern that has the tree. I think a cute tree over here somehow. So, this paper pack, what was it called again? It's Echo Park Love Family from 2016. So if you don't have them, then you can Google it, maybe. It's an old paper line, so I don't know if you're going to be able to be lucky enough to find it. But maybe you have it in your paper stash. I can't tell you how many times I've used an old paper line and then somebody's like, I have that in my stash. Yep. Because we all love our paper. All right. Just trying to think here. Maybe a smaller tree doesn't have the same effect. I don't know. Maybe it's my pictures. Maybe I need to adjust those. Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe the tree thing's not working. Maybe it's not working. I could go this way and then use that on the other one and then do, yeah, 5x7 pictures. Look at me. I had this grand idea to use these pictures to change it up in a live video. I like that better. I'm gonna go with that. With this, oh yeah, Daisy, I could do the scattered leaves, you're right. Do, where did autumn go? Yep, I can use these autumn leaves and just do them randomly. I actually have 2 sets of autumn leaves, so, and then basically what you're saying is to do them all floating. That could be cute. Oh, thanks, Daisy. Let's do that. Then we can place them where we want, and we don't have to have them sticking in their face. Right? Okay. So the idea is there. I get it. We're going to move forward with it, and then we'll pull in some other elements. But since we're using so many big pictures, we might not need as much of elements, which means we'll probably use less paper as well. Okay, I'm going to start cutting some pieces out so that we can see that spring to life. And sometimes you have to kind of start and then maybe add some little extra touches here and there, which I might add some of that. And then of course I'll start throwing in some stickers and we'll see what we can come up with. Are you guys loving this kind of frame? I think it could be kind of cute, don't you think? Right? That could be kind of fun. Okay, so then I'm going to trim that picture down just a little. We'll just take off another little ½ inch. Oh, and I totally tossed my trash on the floor. I just choop, choop. I know. All right. Okay, let's go back to our patterns here and start making some of those decisions. So, let's see, there we go. So we decided on this tree pattern, which I could do as a border here, but I'm not sure I'm a fan of that there. So sometimes you might have to adjust. I guess the point that I'm doing this, because often what I tell you guys is like, when it comes to main patterns, those often become my borders, is where I tend to go. Again, all rules can be broken, but we're going to be breaking a couple rules, natural rules like that today. So now I got to figure out how to use that. Might not work. This tree pattern might not work. But I could do the stripe pattern, because we're not going to be using that much paper. Or the polka dots. Oh, I'm such a sucker for polka dots. Such a sucker for polka dots. If I had done another layer, we'd be more, but I kept it really clean and simple, which I'm liking. I feel like this page needs that. So again, 5 sheets is the recommendation, but sometimes less. Sometimes less. I could use the tree pattern over here. I just, so remember how I showed you guys how to cut those borders out? If I do that, then the trees are going to go this way, which sometimes that's what's hard when patterns are like this. We actually try to avoid patterns like that sometimes now because it limits you in your design. I like the tree pattern too. Stripes are too busy like this. Well, then I just need to find another place, or I can just do one border in the tree and not balance it over here, but I love to balance. So that's something I'm always in the lookout, like how can I balance it? So part of me is thinking, well, what if we did just a piece of stripe of a pattern here or something? See, we're limited there too. This is good. I'm glad that we're walking through this together because you guys can see the process, because part of me was like, oh, well, I could just add a strip. But I can't because I have to get this piece cut out of this way, and I can't take another strip out of this way because I'll lose my 12 inches. So, what time are we at? Okay. I don't want to interrupt anybody else's time that was supposed to go live after me. Well, let's just start cutting into it and see what we come out. So we love this tree. We do love the tree. So I'm just going to cut one of the borders for now, and might not use both on our layouts, which is very kind of rare. Usually I always do, but again, you don't have to. I'm going to cut both out just for the sake of it, and I'll keep it with my paper pack for a future one if needed. Yes, I have 2 sheets of each. I could do what you just said. I do. It's so funny. Inside of me, I'm like, oh, I hate when you have to do that. But luckily, I have plenty of this paper because I bought it a long time ago. And I bought 2 of each. So yes, Kristen, you are completely right. I do have 2. I'm actually excited. I think that this paper will be really cute. Well, definitely with these 2 paper kits, I'll be able to make tons of layouts. Okay, so we trace cut and then we ink those edges. Let me see, where'd my other dauber go? That one's kind of fraying. All right. And then we just simply ink those edges. We recommend this one ink from the very beginning. It's always worked, so if something kind of works, we haven't changed it, but it's called Vintage Photo. And if you have any pencil line or blemishes, simply just ink right over it is basically why we recommend this, because it solves some of those other concerns. See? And then you just replace it, like so. Super fun. Okay, let me see where that other tree pattern is. Let's see where it goes. So if we wanted to balance it, my thought process is we could add a strip. Let's see what that's going to look like first. Hold on. Before you start hacking away at your paper, I always recommend, where are my strips? I never pulled, well, I pull the strips out because I use them tons, but they're discontinued, so I don't like to pull them out often because then they just cause questions. Now I don't know where they are. Oh, there they are. Right when I was about to give up. All right. Here, because this is going to give us the visual. So what I'm thinking is either we could add just a strip behind, like say something like that, or why don't we move this over, see, and then have that little bit of extra color popping through there. That could be kind of cute. Yeah, that could be fun. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to cut the other sheet out. And that's 3 inches. So we'll do that. And it is kind of fun. I love autumn. Autumn is one of my favorites. I'm not going to ink everything right now. I'll ink it when I go back, but I did want to show you at least the process. So it's design, trace, cut, ink, replace. So we're just going to repeat that, but I'll go back at the end since we are kind of short on time and ink everything up. So if we do that, then we could trace our border out of the other patterns that we have. So I could do the polka dot or the stripe. I'm thinking the stripe just because it's white with white, and these have dots, those have dots. So let's go with the stripe. And so we're gonna mix this up, and this is good. This shows you that sometimes you do. I prefer when I can get my patterns out of the same thing, then I didn't have to cut it twice, but sometimes it calls for it. But that's okay, because I'm gonna do either some one-pagers with those extra pictures that I have, or pocket pages. So I'll probably utilize this other piece that I'm not taking advantage now in those designs. And then you just follow your lines, cut right up. Simple, simple. I personally love these Tim Holtz scissors. Shiloh loves Fiskars. Debbie loves the Cutter Bees, which I don't understand, but she does. And that's, when it comes to a pair of scissors, it is seriously such a personal thing. And you're gonna have to go on your own little personal test drive, basically. Oh, I said I was gonna hold off on inking. It's just nature. It's just like second nature to me. Anyways. Anyways, your own test drive of scissors. So sometimes the people that are intimidated by cutting, or they feel like they're not a good cutter, for whatever it's worth, I have noticed on many of occasions, it comes down to you're not using the right scissors. You are not using the right scissors, and it shows, because just within like, oh, by the way, it's Debbie, Shiloh. Shiloh and Debbie are the other co-founders, and myself, we all prefer different scissors. Like, each one of us have a different preference on scissors. And I literally try their scissors, and I could cut with them. Don't get me wrong. But I don't like their scissors. It is not my preference by all means. So, and I'm pretty comfortable with cutting. All right. Let's cut out this fun little frame. I'm thinking the red, right? Yes, that red that we so much love. So I'm gonna start there, and then we'll narrow down our last decisions, and then we're pretty much gonna be down to some maybe and adding some sticker embellishments and final touches. It's really pretty though. I love this autumn feel we're gonna have going on. It makes me want autumn. I could live with autumn all year long. All year long, I could live with autumn. But I'm also looking forward to some summer, and that we can hopefully get out of our houses soon, right? Okay, so if you have a hard time on some of these darker colors seeing that, then one of the things that I recommend, here I'll show it to you guys because I think it's always important to recommend. I can see this, but I have heard other people mention before, like, oh, that's hard for me to see the pencil line. Then use a white colored pencil. You could use a white color pencil on more of those darker colors. Also, the other thing I always recommend when you are cutting something out of your sheets of paper, to just simply cut around the edges and detach it. So that will solve maybe some of the internal things that you're like, why is this hard? And then you're like, oh, I didn't detach it from the paper. Because it makes it a little bit more complicated if you don't detach them. And then it's just cut, and you don't have to be perfect. Actually, that's one of the things I love about it, is that it's truly handmade. Truly handmade. Sorry, I get kind of lost in my cutting sometimes. Let me go to the comments here. I often pencil on the back of what I'm doing to be cutting. Yes, Fred, yes. That is a sewing mentality. I recommend that to anybody that can get that, but one of the things that I've noticed is it actually, people are like, wait, what? But if it's like a pattern like this, then it mirrors itself, so you don't have to worry about that. Otherwise, you need to flip your designer template if you're tracing on the back of a paper. In this case, that wouldn't have helped because this side is just as dark. So, but yes, that is a really good tip, Fred. If you have a darker side and the other side is lighter, then you could trace it on that side and then just flip it over, and then cut it out and then just flip it back again. All right, and done. Oh, you guys it's killing me not to ink these things. It's killing me not to ink them, but I will ink them and then come back to, or maybe if we have time, I'll ink them at the very end so we can all see the finished look together. Okay, now I just have to come over here and make some of the other decisions, and then I think I'm ready to maybe do a little bit of some final touches. All right, so the stem. I'm trying to think what I want the stem to be. Sometimes naturally we think of stems like we think of browns, which I think could look really cute. I don't know. I am pretty sure I have some brown cardstock. I would just have to find it. I don't think this paper has any brown patterns that I can pull from, unfortunately. Or, you know, we think like greens, but you don't have to follow those rules. Often, actually, I don't. I don't put a sun just because the sun's yellow. I don't do, you know, even though naturally it is, and sometimes it works to our favor, but you don't always have to do that. You don't always have to. All right, so Somehow I just created a mess of a mess. Let's see. Yeah, it would blend into his jacket. You're right, Leslie. The brown would blend a little bit. It wouldn't pop as much. So I could go with some red. I don't like that. I could do a blue. I could do green. We did say we wanted a little bit of that green. It's kind of fun, the blue. Or I could do stripe. I think that will take away from the focus of this. So let's go green. We'll go green. All right, so I'm going to turn my paper here, and then just make sure that when you're tracing out your designs, that you keep them to the edges of your paper. Don't trace something out in the middle. Like, be as efficient use of your paper as you can, because each little scrap of paper makes something. You'll be surprised how the littlest scrap of paper can be turned into something, a masterpiece. You can turn it into a masterpiece. Okay, so handy dandy, don't forget, detach it. Detach it. All right, let me think of another fun question that we can do for another giveaway as I'm cutting this out. And you'll see that I'm moving the paper. I always like to mention these because, again, maybe naturally, because you've been using Kiwi Lane, or this is just natural to you, but if it's not natural to you, I like pointing it out so that you can pay attention, and over time, hopefully kind of learn that. But basically, when I'm cutting, I move the paper with my left hand. So if you're like, oh, I'm not sure I do that, just pay attention next time you're cutting if you do or don't do that. So instead of, going like this with your right cutting hand, or if you're left-handed, your left cutting hand. But yeah, so move that paper. Okay guys, I have to ink this so that you can see that the moment I add a little ink to this green, oh, it's gonna give it such a nice finished pop look. And honestly, I recommend inking even if you didn't hand cut it. If you're cutting something off of a Cricut, I still think it should be inked. I love inking. I think it's a personal thing. Some people are like, no, I'm not an inker, and that's okay. That's okay. Me, I'm like, oh, I have to ink it. And I find it very therapeutic too. All right, that pops, it's cute. And then now it just comes down to these fun leaves, which can be tons of different patterns. So many different variations of patterns. Of course, I'm going to put some polka dots in there. So let's cut us some polka dots. And on these leaves, I'm actually not going to do that bottom part. I'm only going to do. So I'm just going to connect my lines there. I don't want that bottom part in my tree design. And so for us to do this patchworking, we're just going to have to cut out a few and then start placing them. So also, this is something that I do naturally, so I wanted to point it out. The reason I went up is because I tried to keep my paper going with the 12-inch grain, right? So I didn't go to the right because then I would be taking away more of that 12-inch. So I tend to go up. Basically go with your 12-inch. Try to keep your 12-inch intact because you never know when you might need that full 12 inches. I just dropped my scissors, hold on. There we go. All right. All right, giveaway. Giveaway. Let's see. Does anyone know when, I just looked this up the other day, when National Scrapbooking Day was founded? What year? Does anyone know when that was? I have to double check now. So maybe you guys need to double check too. But I'm pretty sure I have, yeah. Okay, I remember the year. Nope, not 99, not 96. Nope. Nope. Haven't seen it yet. I'm going to put some of this plaid in. No, further back than 2000. 94, Myra Robertson. Correct, 1994. It was founded. We were talking about that the other day, and I thought that was interesting. I thought for some reason it was like, I don't know, earlier than that, like older. But yeah, 1994 it was founded. Kind of fun fact there for you. Congrats, Myra. Again, you can choose any a la carte of your choice. And email Jen, Jen, at kiwilane.com. You'll need an online account. If you don't have an online account yet, make sure to create one with the creative partner who referred you so that you can be linked to that creative partner as the referred. Okay, that plaid is fun. See, I think that's what's really fun is that we can just have, you know, leaves coming all directions, as many as we want. We'll basically do I'm gonna do 2 of each pattern. Just kind of give us something to play with, a variety to play with here. So then I'm looking at that red. One of the things that is standing out to me is this red pattern. I want to find a way to balance it, but I'm thinking maybe just another strip right there to balance that red from the left side to the right side. So let me cut really quickly a half inch from our paper here. Right, so something like that. That'll be fun. All right, I have another 30 minutes with you guys. I better speed it up. Oh, I'm breaking up. It might be your internet, Ruth. It depends on your speed and my speed and all of the above. All right, so more patterns. What we got? Stripes? Yes, let's throw some stripes in there. Let's throw a couple stripes. So patterns are really fun. You know, they don't have to be overwhelming. I know some people are overwhelmed by when you mix patterns and layer patterns, but that's one thing that we wanted to do because we wanted to utilize our paper and basically let it work for you. When you let the pattern papers work for you, you really don't need too many extra embellishments, which, you know, back in 2000, it was like, for anybody that's been scrapbooking that long, that's what it seemed like, right? It was like, that was the trend. It was like one picture, and then that's where that joke came, where it was like one picture for $20 page. I don't like that saying, tell you the truth. I don't think it's funny when people use it because it shouldn't be that way. You don't need to have expensive embellishments. I really, honestly, I believe that. Because your paper can do a lot of the work as far as embellishing goes. So, yeah. Okay, a couple more. Maybe go out a little bit further out. Here, I'm going to kind of see what that gives us. Maybe a couple off the page. Yeah? Cute. Okay, I'm going to cut this other one out. Scrapbooking since 1998. Natalie. That's amazing. I did not start scrapbooking until, well, I think I might have been the same time. I started scrapbooking in my sophomore year. So, yeah, 98. I started to scrapbook. Can you layer leaves? Like, you mean like overlap them? Yeah, we could definitely build that up. Like, we could build that up as many as we wanted to cut out. We could build that up as much as we wanted to. We could absolutely. And maybe I'll add a couple more, like like I said, I'm going to try some blue ones because I really love this little touch of blue. So let me see what that looks like in the mix with these patterns. Again, I'm going to cut 2 out. And the other great thing is that you can, you know, quickly utilize this section of your paper. It's not a waste. I'm not wasting much paper. Very small scraps, actually, what I have so far on my floor, because I throw all my scraps on my floor. It's a habit of mine. I just throw them on the floor, and then when I'm done with the project, I do a quick cleanup, and then I start again, and then I throw them on the floor. So, and you'll be surprised how that blue, here I'm going to show you guys, again, this inking. And the reason why we recommend this color ink is because we found that it works with every color, lights, pastels, brights. It works on a variety of different ones. So, and then we could absolutely layer more up. I could go further out. There's so many fun things we can do. So I might have to finish this tree up because, yeah, see, look how that inking changes that blue. It really just makes it feel more solid and structured. You know, it just makes it feel more structured there. Less, I don't know, unsubstantial. Like it feels more substantial because of the inking. Okay, so that's our tree. That's our layout. So now I'm just going to quickly, I'll go back to the tree, but because I kind of think it could be cute with some layering going on. Yeah, it's called Vintage Photo. Sorry, mine's actually, I got signed from, oh my gosh, Tim Holtz. I was like, what? So you can see a little scribble because I had him sign it. I also had him sign my frame as well, which I'm like looking around. Where is my frame? Oh, there it is. Here, I have to show you guys. Tim Holtz is one creative dude. His style is definitely a different style, but I still respect his creativity. Yeah, he said this, and I was like, amen. Although he takes inking to a whole nother level. So if you guys don't like inking, then, you know, for me, I'm simple in it. I find a very practical use for it, and it works. So, all right, okay. So let's look at our stickers really fast, because I definitely, if you have these, use them. Use up what you have. And since they came with the kit, I'm going to use them. So what we can do is some fun different combinations here. Let me think here. I actually loved this. Family times are the best of times. So I actually shared this the other day. Seems like I'm using a lot of my past kits with stickers in them lately. So, you know, all these scraps. So what I do is when I'm using stickers, I cover the backs. This is what I do. One, because then I can place it down on my page without stress of like committing just yet. So like it gives me an option to, okay, if I put that there, then what else could I maybe dress up with, right? So maybe I'll add a little arrow and maybe a little heart to give it more of like a functional structure, you know? That's kind of cute. So again, these are tiny charmed and tiny, this is where it comes in handy with these pieces on those. And then I would add some pop-up, because pop-up is essential. I love pop-up. I think Tina, one of the creative partners, that's one of her door prize giveaways that she's doing, because you can never have enough, ever, of pop-up. And it makes such a difference. It makes stickers go from that flat kind of structure to more of that dimensional structure. So just combine them. What else do I love on these sticker things? So just those kind of final touches, whether that's brads, buttons, little embellishments that you have. Again, you don't need much, but just utilizing what you do have. I love these little tag things. Those are kind of fun. Now the key is not to just use it because you have it, like plaster it all. Like I wouldn't do that. And so just being careful of that. This is kind of pretty, that day to remember. And even this, let's see. Yeah, I don't think that design's gonna work. It's cute though, but I'll find a use for it in my pocket pages. But you could do something like that. I don't know, just kidding. I think it's taking it away from my pictures. Again, personal thoughts here. I really just want some simple embellishments, and I want my pictures just to kind of be the main focus. Oh, Valerie says she sprinkles baby powder. I love that. Baby powder is now part of your scrapbooking supplies. But then you would have all that mess, Valerie. I guess if you have a tray that you're sprinkling it, but hey, yeah, she says she takes baby powder, then you can pop dot. So she does that on her stickers. And that's great. You're my life. That's cute. Family. I like these little placky things because they feel a little bit more of that clean look that I'm going for, you know? So I could do just to balance that. Again, I'm just looking for, if I want to use something, I definitely have plenty to choose from on this sheet. You know what, I'm kind of liking this one, and maybe off to the side with another thing. So let me cover this back so I can actually play with it. Oh, you use a paintbrush. Oh, yay, see? I love that. We can all be inspired by each other. Wonderful. All right. Again, you just keep your kits together, but all right. So I'm thinking maybe like just something down here, and I could even take this little butterfly so that it's kind of like its own little focus, like that. And then I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm going to throw another strip of blue in there, like in this little, maybe if we added another strip just for fun. Something like that. So it doesn't have to be much. That's kind of fun. Just some simple, basic little designs. And then, so let's cut out these little pieces. So I'm going to go with blue on the arrow just to balance that because I have no blue over here. So I want to pull that over on that. Okay, so I'm just going to detach it from our paper. All right, so you guys ready for another giveaway? You guys got your typing hands in? All right, so let's think. I do have another name that template, so let me lay that out. Okay, so the first person that names this template wins an a la carte. All right, here it is. What accessory set is this? And it comes with all of those pieces. It comes with every one of those pieces. Anybody know? I guess it's kind of not fair if you haven't used Kiwi Lane yet, but next time you'll know. Celebrate, Carrie Hannah. Carrie, yay! Congrats, Carrie. Carrie is a friend that I grew up with in Las Vegas. which she did not know that I even had Kiwi Lane. It's crazy, small world. What, Carrie? Till a couple weeks ago, a creative partner introduced you to it? Yeah. Guess it just shows that not always algorithms on Facebook. Get it out. Congrats, Carrie. Celebrate. Okay, let me show you what's really fun about Celebrate, aka it's also, well, not aka, but just so you guys know, also, this is 15% off. It's one of our featured sets for the month of May. But Celebrate, so right off the bat, again, I just put these on here so people aren't getting confused, just to hide the name. You have a fun banner, you have a couple balloons, of course you have the shape of this cone, a pinwheel, a paisley. People look at that like a cloud and a ticket, but that's not it. You also can take the banner and the cone and you can have a fun sailboat. You can do, of course, a fun little title on your page using this banner and the balloons collaged together. This is really fun because you can make it into like a 3D where you fold the ends and then put a brad through the middle. So that's a fun little trick as well that's often used with the Celebrate. I love the paisley. I love the paisley for like splashes on a page if you have a water page going on, but also if you want to make a chick. Look how cute. You just add a little peak and draw some feet, and you have a little chick if you need a chick. You can take the cone and the cloud, and you can make a nice cone. You could do triple scoops if you're a triple scoops kind of girl or guy, and then, you know, 1 scoop, 2 scoop, 3 scoop. We all scream for ice cream. And then of course just the tickets are really fun in using a different way. I've also used this where I make a little banner across my page, and if you want it to be smaller, then you would just, when you are tracing it out of your paper, just trace out the portion and you can do a little banner. Use up your ribbon stash that you might have. So that is a close look at the Celebrate accessory set. Super, super fun. And again, it's 15% off for the month of May, and we are officially in May. And it is official. May is here. May is here. All right. So those are some fun tricks, and we actually have a lot of those tips in our idea books too, just showing a variety of ways that maybe first glance you look at the designer templates, but sometimes we try to make them a little bit more versatile. We like variety. Definitely try to make sure things are versatile in those designs. So, okay, I'm thinking, let's see, someone said blue, but I don't want to do blue. What about polka dot or the plaid? Should we put the plaid over here or the polka dot? I'm trying to think which one. Where did my plaid and polka dot go? There it is. Yeah, it is crazy. Natalie, I'm right with you. I had to look down at my computer and be like, no, we are in May, right? Yes, it's May 2nd. And it's Saturday, for anybody that might be wondering. The months and the years and the days, I don't know, they all seem to get definitely mixed up at this point. I'm thinking polka dot. I told you guys I'm a sucker for a polka dot. I am a sucker for a polka dot. Well, guys, thank you guys so much for helping me and creating with me. I hope that it's inspired you, and hopefully if there's, now maybe you're inspired to go create your own little fall memories layouts. And, you know, from picking paper to kind of keeping that thought process, just kind of my process that I go through, but of course adjusting where needed in the concept. And then let's do a plaid over. Should we do plaid? Or polka dot again? I kind of like the lightness. I feel like the blue blends with the blue strip that I just did. So that's why I'm struggling with that. So either I can change the color of the strip, which I'm not sure what color I would do. Yeah, we're gonna fill that up more. I'm gonna adhere that all down and take a picture here in a moment. All right, I told you guys, I love me polka dots. I'm going with it. Going with it. Sometimes you just have to just go with the gut. Super cute. And then we'll just trace and cut that out. Yes. Sorry, Carrie. Email Jen, Jen at kiwilane.com. All of our winners, if you could email Jen at kiwilane.com to claim your a la carte. So that's going to come through that, my direction, not from the creative partners. Okay, so let me write that down. So Trisha and Frankie and Red Bobby and Myra Tom Robertson and Carrie Smith. Those are our lucky winners. So if you can email Jen at kiwilane.com, I send her your name. She'll verify your account, just make sure that you are hooked up with your creative partner. And then she can get that order placed free of charge. It's free. And then, oh, just let her know what a la carte. So if you're not sure, then head over and make sure to take a look at the shop and the different a la cartes underneath the a la carte shop category. You'll find them there. Okay? Okay, guys, I have to ink this so that you can see it inked and finished. And then I'm thinking either I can add a little body so you can dress up your little elements, or another very essential thing that I use all the time is just some enamel dots. So you don't have to do anything, again, fancy, but if you were going to have something on hand, another go-to of mine is enamel dots. So, you know, like these, enamel dots. Super fun, great to have. And I'm trying to think what color to do. And then I gotta eat some lunch before my next live. You guys have another live, so much fun to keep, you know, watching and listening as you are planning to create or scrapbooking your own. And then of course sharing what you're creating. Lisa, so creative partner mentioned 40% off one item. Yeah, so if you already created your account, the way it works is your accounts are linked to the person that referred you, so the referral, creative referral partner. And the code for 40% off one item, it's one per customer, and it can be used from today through Monday, is NSD40, and it's capital NSD, so National Scrapbook Day, right? So NSD 40. So yes. Oh, looks like everybody else is posting it. There you go. Every one of you, go use your 40% off. Go use it. If you haven't created an account though, make sure you put in the referrals creative partner ID. We want to give the credit where the credit due. So they get linked as your referral creative partner, okay? Please make sure to ask them. Take a moment to ask them. All right. I do have some brown. It's not bad. I don't know. I'm kind of liking the little toning down. It kind of adds to the fall feel. So I'm just going to add a couple for the body. Or not. See, some simple touches like that. And then I'm going to add maybe just some randoms over here. Kind of feel in that corner. Give it a little fall feel over there. Nope. Just a few. And then there we go. We have it. We are officially done. I just have to ink the pieces that I skipped over and adhere it down. And then I will take a final picture so that you guys can see what it looks like. Yes, and Angela, that is correct. If you spend $30 or more, you also can get a free digital sketchbook that has some scrapbooking ideas that might come in handy this weekend as you are celebrating National Scrapbook Day, because you'll get that right away. It will show up underneath your accounts under the download so that you can start using it right away this weekend. So make sure to check that out on that. One little fast quick, I mean, I actually have it out because it's just screaming for this. So this is just sewing string, and like this little collage, anytime you have these little collages, this is so much fun. I keep it very handy. You can get it in a variety of different colors. Noreen, one of our creative partners, shared it with us, and now it's become one of those little things that I constantly do when I have little things like this. It works really great for little things like that. So basically what you do is you gather some string, right? There really is no right way or wrong way to do this. I learned quickly that I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter, just bunch it all up together. But I love it because it gives a little texture. I'm going to have to shoot a picture over so you guys can see what it's like. But whenever I tend to do little, then you can just kind of separate it out. It's just more of like a texture, but it doesn't have to be, again, this is super inexpensive. And then what we're going to do, so right, just a big mess. I'm just going to place that behind here. You guys see that? I'll take a picture. And then of course I'll add a glue dot. So I'll add like a little glue dot there. And then adhere that all down once I get to that point. So fun. Something simple. Again, I always have it kind of out because I tend to just always find a little thing to do that with, and it just adds a little bit more texture behind that. And maybe I'll add a little bit over here. We'll see. All right, guys. Well, thanks again for joining me. I hope that you have a lot of fun with your National Scrapbook Day. Thanks to all of the creative partners for inviting me to come over and hang out with you guys for a little bit here in this special group, and for taking the time to host this so that we can all celebrate National Scrapbook Day. And hopefully through what everybody's sharing, you're inspired with some fun giveaways and some ideas and just different things. But yeah, that's kind of a close look. So hopefully some of the tips that I shared about paying attention to what patterns and paper you layer together with. Also just the process, keeping it simple, 5 steps: design, trace, cut, ink, replace, and then use the stashes that you have, whether that is your little Cricut things or your buttons or your brads or your different little elements, but also using up your paper stash, using that paper to your advantage. So, all right, guys, well, enjoy. We will talk to you later. Tony's giving me the 10 minutes, the 10 minutes thing. So I will let you guys go so that you guys can go grab a quick refresher or a drink or a snack or something before the other one. So, all right, enjoy. Happy National Scrapbook Day, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.